The clips have come out of Deontay Wilder's training, specifically throwing shots to the body. Were you impressed by those clips?
I think it was a wind-up. I think I take what Deontay says. I respect Deontay, you know. I take what he says with a pinch of salt now. I mean, he said I was putting metal bars in Tyson's gloves, and I don't know if he's trying to lead Tyson into a false sense of security, but you know, if my 8-year-old daughter threw body punches like that, you know, I'd be upset. Never mind the former heavyweight champion of the world. I think it must be. I think he's trying to leave Tyson up the garden path with that. I think, you know, that shouldn't be on BT Sport. That should be on the Comedy Channel.
Those are the words of Ricky Hitman Hatton as he reacts to Deontay Wilder's latest training. You know, Deontay was winging shots to the body, and it was an uncommon thing to see Wilder throw punches to the body. You know, you see him normally throw the jab to the body, the jab upstairs, the right hand upstairs, but he's implemented in throwing the right to the body. I seen on that training video that he was throwing straight rights to the body. Now, that's a good punch to have. The problem is, to critique that, according to Ricky Hatton, he says his 8-year-old could punch. If his 8-year-old punched like that, he would be disappointed, let alone the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world. But my counterpunch to that is, I think that's why fighters, when they're in growth stage, the last thing you want to do is pull wool over their eyes and have them thinking that they're better than they really are. And that's exactly what happened to Deontay Wilder. He already started too late in the game, or really late in the game. And the last thing you want to do is stop him from learning. See, Malik Scott is doing what Malik Scott's doing right now. But he has to handle the things and the awkwardness of Deontay Wilder due to not training like he's supposed to. You know what Mark Breland actually did to the camp of Deontay Wilder? He cracked it wide open. Okay, he was the whistleblower, and him, and you know, with the aid of his son that he told certain things to, he revealed how that camp was ran, what really went on in that camp, how JD's wouldn't allow him to do certain things because Deontay didn't want to. Deontay himself came forth and admitted, like, hey, it's a lot of things I got away with, meaning they didn't make him do much. They didn't make him do the things that he could have done. That performance on the 22nd of February should have never been that way. You add 10 extra pounds to a guy that you wanted him to bulk up based on the fact that, I don't know, I guess he tried to pull an Anthony Joshua and failed, because Anthony Joshua failed when he did it eventually. To add extra weight on a person that doesn't normally train like he's supposed to is a train wreck ready to happen anyway. Okay, and like, you know, Ricky Hatton, he sees this guy winding up shots and winging like that. You know, I heard the thud in those punches, but he was wide with those shots. He kind of put me in the mind of Azuma Nelson, because Azuma Nelson threw wide like that. There is some awkwardness to Deontay Wilder, but he does possess speed and agility. But I think a lot of that awkwardness comes from technique, because he wasn't allowed to be trained the right way. See, JD's didn't know what the hell he was doing, so he brought in Mark Breland, but wouldn't allow Mark Breland to do what he wanted to. And at some point, Mark Breland just stopped really caring. When you heard Mark Breland say, hey, he doesn't listen to me, do you think that was a comment of care and concern? It was a comment of like, hey, I give up. I'm going to get my check. I'm going to get my pay. I'm going to do what I guess they want me to do, because what I want to do, I can't do. So I'm going to do whatever they allow me to do. And that's going to be that, you know. And then I think the person that knows how to do something and is not allowed to do something is the same person that will be less enthused on what really happens. Because I know Mark Breland, when he was talking to the Knowledge on The Fight Is Right, that was a rant. That was nothing someone pulled out of him. He wanted to say that. Now you go back to Ricky Hatton, okay? Ricky Hatton didn't hold anything back, okay, about the gloves and things of that nature. And you have to understand, that was the first thing the second thing that was accused on the Team of Fury, that he was putting some in his gloves, right? Like, if you think about it, if Tyson Fury had something in his gloves when he was flicking his jab out like that, and there was something in there, Deontay Wilder would have felt that, and his face would have been looking like Hasim Rahman when Holyfield headbutted him. That's what he would have looked like. He wouldn't have looked like the way he looked. You didn't see something in the glove that was, flopping around in there. It was just a floppy glove. Okay. And then, like I've told people, okay, what do you think he could have benefited having that? Okay. So people want to believe what they want to believe. But then, Ricky Hatton's like, hey, I take what he says like a pinch of salt, because he thought that I helped him cheat, and then see, when you talk about a person and you accuse someone of cheating, you can't expect that person to respect you after that. Even though he said, I respect Deontay and Wilder or whatnot, he's more nonchalant about it, but he did mention it. And then see, that's one of the things that you should come out with. I don't even think Ricky Hatton was there at that press conference, the only one they had. But, at the end of the day, I believe John Fury would have said something and would have spiced it up. That's why I think they should have one in England. That's even if Deontay goes. I don't even know if he'll go to England, especially at this time of COVID and all this stuff. But I do feel that he will be criticized for the things that he said. But the training clips, it might be something that they're trying to pull over. It might be a situation where they're trying to let Tyson Fury think that he's going to go to the body, and they end up going right upstairs. I mean, that's what's going to eventually happen anyway. He has to catch him with the right hand, because there's nothing else that I could see from Wilder hurting Tyson Fury like that but his right hand. You know what I mean? Because he took those right hands in the first fight and he got up from them. So obviously, to Tyson Fury, the right hand isn't that devastating, And my counterpunch to everything between these two fights, I think Wilder is stuck in the past. I think Wilder, between the first fight and the second fight, Wilder just saw himself hitting him with the right and doing or finishing what he should have done in the 12th round of the first fight. I think that's what his problem was. And he wasn't prepared for anything else, because he was hell-bent on, you know what? If I hit him just right the way I did, I can take him out and say goodnight. So we'll see if he can do that. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Ricky Hatton reacting to Deontay Wilder's training clips. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.